Jack. Have you ever noticed that even after studying English for years, some grammar mistakes just keep popping up? I mean, I still catch myself making errors sometimes. It's frustrating, right?
Absolutely, Sarah. I think that's something every English learner faces. The tricky part is that these mistakes often happen without us realizing. But guess what? Today on Dream Speak English, we're going to talk about the 7 most common grammar mistakes that learners make every day and how to fix them fast.
That sounds perfect. I know I've struggled with some of these myself. Let's start with one that confuses a lot of people, the difference between much and many. It seems simple, but it's surprisingly easy to get wrong.
Right. The rule is pretty clear. Use much with uncountable nouns and many with countable nouns. For example, you say, "How much water do you drink?" But how many bottles of water do you have? Yet I've heard learners say, "How many water do you drink?" or "How much bottles do you have?" which sounds off to native speakers.
Exactly. So a quick tip, ask yourself, can you count it? If yes, use many. If no, use much. Like, how many apples, but how much sugar? It's a small difference, but makes your English sound much more natural.
Great tip, Sarah. Now let's move on to prepositions, those tiny words that cause big headaches, especially in, on, and at. I remember once saying, "I am good in English," and my friend corrected me. It should be, "I am good at English."
Oh yes, prepositions are tricky because they don't always translate directly from other languages. Here's a simple way to remember. Use in for cities, countries, and enclosed spaces, on for surfaces and streets, and at for specific points or places. So, I live in London, the book is on the table, and meet me at the station.
That's a solid rule, but don't worry if you get it wrong sometimes. Even native speakers mix them up. Just keep practicing and listening carefully.
Speaking of tricky grammar, what about verb tenses, especially the difference between present perfect and simple past? I used to say, I have seen him yesterday, which is incorrect.
Right. The present perfect is for actions without a specific time, while the simple past is for actions at a definite time. So you should say, "I saw him yesterday." If you mention a specific time like yesterday or last week, use the simple past. If you don't mention a time, use the present perfect, like "I have seen that movie."
That's a key point. It's all about whether the time is important or not. This mistake is very common, but once you understand the rule, it's easy to fix.
Now, let's talk about subject-verb agreement. This one is classic, but still causes problems. For example, many learners say, "She go to school every day," instead of "She goes to school every day." Now, let's talk about subject-verb agreement. This one is classic, but still causes problems. For example, many learners say, "She go to school every day," instead of "She goes to school every day."
Yes, the verb must match the subject in number. For third-person singular, he, she, it, add s or es to the verb. But watch out for exceptions and irregular verbs. Also, collective nouns like team or family can be tricky. In American English, they usually take singular verbs, but in British English, sometimes plural verbs.
Good point. Knowing your audience helps. And don't forget about articles, a, an, and the. Many learners omit them or use them incorrectly, like saying "I have cat" instead of "I have a cat."
Articles are tough because they don't exist in the same way in many languages. The general rule, use a or an for singular countable nouns when mentioning something for the first time, and the for specific or known things. For example, I saw a dog, any dog, but the dog was big, a specific dog.
Exactly. Practice reading and listening to notice how articles are used naturally. Now, what about the future tense? Many learners confuse will and going to.
Yes, use will for spontaneous decisions or promises like, I will help you. Use going to for planned actions like, I am going to visit my friend tomorrow.
Mixing these up can make your meaning unclear.
Finally, let's talk about double negatives. In English, two negatives make a positive, so saying I don't know nothing is wrong. It should be I don't know anything.
Double negatives confuse listeners and make your English sound unprofessional. Use only one negative word per sentence.
So, Sarah, now that we've covered these 7 common mistakes, what's the best way to fix them?
Practice, practice, practice. Listen carefully, read a lot, and speak as much as you can. And remember, making mistakes is part of learning. The important thing is to recognize them and correct them.
That's right. And if you want more tips like these, don't forget to subscribe to Dream Speak English. We're here to help you speak English confidently and naturally.
Thanks for watching. In the next video, we'll give you exercises to practice these grammar points. See you soon.
Now that we've talked about the 7 common grammar mistakes, it's time to dive deeper and practice fixing them. Are you ready, Sarah?
Absolutely, Jack. Practice is the key to improvement. Let's start with the first mistake, much versus many. I want to give you some real-life examples and exercises to help you remember.
Great idea. For example, if you're at a grocery store, you might ask, how many apples do you want? Because apples are countable. But if you're talking about juice, you'd say, how much juice do you want? Since juice is uncountable.
Exactly. Now, try this. Think about your kitchen. How many countable items can you name? And how many uncountable items? For example, countable, eggs, bottles, cans. Uncountable, rice, sugar, water.
Try making sentences with these words. For example, I have many eggs, or I need much sugar. Practicing like this helps your brain remember the difference naturally.
Moving on to prepositions, in, on, and at. Let's imagine you're describing your day. You might say, I live in New York, my keys are on the table, and I will meet you at 5 p.m.
Here's a quick exercise. Look around you and describe where things are using these prepositions. For example, the book is on the shelf, or I am sitting at my desk. This will help you get comfortable with their correct use.
Now, about verb tenses, the present perfect and simple past. Let's practice with some sentences. I'll say a sentence and you tell me if it's correct or not.
Sounds fun. Go ahead.
I have finished my homework yesterday.
That's incorrect because yesterday is a specific time. It should be, I finished my homework yesterday.
Right. Now, I have visited Paris 3 times.
That's correct because no specific time is mentioned.
Perfect. Keep practicing this distinction and you'll avoid many common mistakes.
Try making your own sentences using both forms. This will help you sound more natural.
Finally, double negatives. Remember, in English, 2 negatives make a positive. So instead of saying, I don't want nothing, say, I don't want anything.
Double negatives can confuse listeners and make your English sound incorrect. Always use one negative word per sentence.
Now, Sarah, what's your advice for learners who want to stop making these mistakes?
My advice is simple. Listen carefully, read a lot, and speak as much as possible. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. They are part of learning, but always try to notice your errors and correct them.
And don't forget to practice with real examples. Use these grammar points in your daily conversations and writing.
Also, watch videos like this one on Dream Speak English. We'll keep giving you tips and exercises to help you improve step by step.